body language. We're going to add some neuroscience to some body language now, some neuroscience concepts. 95% of the information that you could take in, you block out. You're only taking in about 5% of the information units that you could. What you see, feel, and hear is what you expect to see, feel, and hear. This is really important for the body language concepts that we'll get into in a minute, and learning how to see or how to do that. So this is the same stuff that social engineers use, con artists use, magicians use. They're using the fact that you're going to block out 95% of the information units that come into your space, into your sphere, and they direct most of the other stuff. They're moving you to see the other 5%. Now, what does that mean? What you see, feel, and hear is what you expect to see, feel, and hear. This is the reason why when I ask you to train, I want you to start with the feet. You're used to looking at people in the face. You're used to looking at their shoulders and their face and their forehead and their ears and maybe their hands when they're talking. You know, your visual line is going kind of here. You're not used to looking at their feet. Some folks are used to looking at their own feet, but not other people's feet. So what happens is you don't have the habit and you don't have the expectation to block out that other information, right? That'll speed up how fast it is for you to start to pick up those cues because everything looks slightly off. Okay. Once you start doing it, once you start thinking of it that way, it's easier for you to scan up the body and start to put cues in specific places. As a sniper, or when I'm doing reconnaissance, or when we're looking at something, right? We're paying attention to something. When we're scanning an area, say my area is here, we break it up into thirds. Okay. If this is my third right here, I start at the bottom and I go opposite the way that I read. Japanese would do it the opposite because they read the opposite direction we do. But for everyone that reads from right to left and top to bottom, we go the other way. We go from bottom to top and we go from right to left. Because you're not used to seeing it, so it's easier for your body to not do that neuroscience overlap. When you do something you're not used to, then everything is a little bit goofy. Everything is a little bit off. So you're not expecting to see, feel, or hear something a specific way because you're doing it opposite the way that you're used to doing it, which is why I want you to do the feet. So when we're scanning, we'll scan the area. If we see something that looks off, we just remember that it's there. We just keep going. And then we do the same thing, but we start at the bottom here, and then we go from top to bottom and go across. And you're basically building a grid over the section, and then you remember where the funky things are, and then you go focus on those funky things. I'm asking you to do the same thing with the body, macro to micro, when you're actually good at reading body language. The key, though, is to start with the feet. And the reason you start with the feet is because you can go in a position that you're not used to going. You're looking at from a position you're not used to seeing. When you get good, they'll all pop up at the same time. They'll also pop up without needing a translation. It'll just pop up, and they'll be instead of you seeing right foot turned out, right knee collapsed, left low back, left shoulder too low. All of those will pop up at one time, bing, and they'll all have their definition in your head. It's a lot like seeing the color brown. You don't have to translate that it's brown. You just know that it's brown. That same thing will happen with the cues. It's a lot like when you see a smile. You don't have to translate a smile. Oh, he's smiling. He's happy. It's like, oh, bing, it's happy. It fires off those neurons in the brain. What you see, hear, and feel, you expect to see, feel, and hear. If I'm trying to con you, my job is to look as much like the area as I can. So I'm not going to bring my rural hiding in the woods gear to infiltrate a business, right? That just wouldn't work. I'm going to wear a business attire and look as much like the business as I can to get from point A to point B, to infiltrate your space. I wouldn't wear a business suit and run through the woods, right? Because it would stand out. It would pop. We don't want that. That's how social engineers and magicians and con artists, that's how they use this neuroscience, this brain gap, the see, hear, and feel. You're expecting it. That's a neural block that you can't stop. Everyone thinks they can stop it. You're blocking 95% of information. So while you're learning body language, all this is to say, you need to start from the bottom to the top. Start at the feet, learn the ankles, learn the shins, learn the calves, learn the knees, learn the thighs, learn the hips, learn the stomach, and you just move up the body until you don't have to translate it. And then everything will pop up at once. Realize that you're blocking 95% of the information that you could get. You're blocking it in real time. And understand that you're expecting to see, hear, and feel something. And because you're expecting it, that's what you're going to see. That's what you're going to feel, and that's what you're going to hear. So that's your body language and neuroscience combination for the development of your body language program. Have fun, take the course, learn the basics, enjoy it, and the faster you get into the basics, the faster we can get into some advanced stuff. Have fun. I look forward to seeing you in the course.